Hello, this is a note about the NOAA's online ENC interactive chart viewer. It's like it's sort of like a navigation program display of ENC charts, but there's no actual navigation with GPS or things like that. But you see at least their standard on how these charts are to be displayed. And we had a question. We have a chart. We have a new course, a brand new course on using these new vector electronic navigation charts. And a question came up in class about the use of this app to compare things or to look at charts without having to go and download the whole chart and everything like that. So it's a very nice resource to know about. So let's start out about how to get to it. This is our page, starpath.com/getcharts. It's just a place, an index we have made to get to all the different resources that NOAA has. And we make this because there is no one place at NOAA that does list all the different types of services they have. And those services are in fact changing around some these days, and we keep this up to date. But the one we're looking for here now is ENC Seamless Online Viewer is item number 6. So I click that. Let's see how long it loads. See, that's pretty fast. Sometimes if it's slow, don't worry about it. There's some hang up somewhere, and then just try again or just wait a minute or so. But normally it bangs right open. And so here is now showing these red are outlines of the existing ENC charts. Where you see these nice little patterns like this, that means these are the reschemed charts, and most of these are all the present charts are what will be more and more often called legacy ENCs, and these are the reschemed, the new ENCs. These are really a big improvement, but that's not the subject at hand. We just want to look at these, or you could come in here and look at these. And so here there's two sets of menus here. There's this kind of menu inside here, inside the viewer, and then there's this side outside the viewer. And there are two search engines. There's a search engine in here and a search engine out here. And these are rather different. So let's start out by just saying I want to go to a particular part of the country. So like Nantucket, Nantucke. I want to go to Nantucket, and it gives me my options. Nantucket, Massachusetts. That's fine. And here I am. And this is an ENC chart then of Nantucket. Now, one of the first things you're going to see is rolling the mouse. I got a mouse roller here. Rolling the mouse does not scroll it. The only way, and then once you're done here, to get this tidied up, go ahead and clean that up, close that. Whoop, can I close? Oh, close it right here. Okay. Well, all right. And so then, but if you want to zoom, you use a plus and minus. Does a plus work on the keyboard? Or use your keyboard. There's plus and minus on the keyboard. That works very well. And these are ENC. This is now the ENC chart of this region. And I could probably find out which one it is by what's called cursor picking, but I want to get to that in a moment. But okay. But let's say I'm over here on the East Coast now, and I want to look at Point Wilson Light. I don't want to just go to Port Townsend, Washington, the city. I want to go to a particular light, a particular object, any navigational object whose name you know. Then you would come down here, and in this, you have two choices here, but this is the top one you want, object name. And you could type, let's see if this works, Point Wilson Light. What's this one called? This is called Brant Point Light here. Okay, Point Wilson Light, and then say go. Now, what this is telling us is these are usage bands of the charts. Harbor charts, that's like 1 to 10,000 and lower and so forth. But and so there's different. These are the different chart scales that have this item on it. Probably all the same item. But let's just look at this harbor chart here, and this is a point source. That's a light. And so forth. This, buoy, lateral buoy, that means there must be a buoy out there called Point Wilson Lighted Buoy 6. So that's why it found it. Okay, but here's the actual lighthouse, and then, all right, let's go to the buoy. It's off the coast. Okay, and then you can click here and get more information about, how do we get to it? Okay, you get more information about that buoy here as if you did a cursor pick, which we'll get to in a minute, or you just click it and go to it, and there's the buoy. There's Point Wilson Light Buoy. Now, I got to do a minus here. Okay, so down here's the actual Point Wilson light, and here's this buoy. So anyway, that's the way the two search engines work. They this one inside here with this question mark, with this magnifying here, that goes for particular charted object names. Objects, it could be a sea area, like Strait of Juan de Fuca or Puget Sound or Chesapeake Bay. It could be a sea area name, or it could be the object, an object name, a lighthouse name or something. Okay, and the other one's just going to an address or a place. You could probably put in a street address here. Okay, so that's that. And this house, what's this house? Oh, this house is a sort of a, I wouldn't call it so much instructions. It just kind of tells you what you can do here, or a lot of what you can do. Okay, so let's just go down this layer here. These are what is this, layers. Oh, okay. So for this part, we're going to just use the ENC. This area you only get one choice, ENC layer, right? And this is the default things they've turned on to show. And these things that are not showing, that's a good choice that they have there. You can just leave those all off. It doesn't matter. So that's the layer we're using there, the ENC layer. These don't do anything. This is a menu bar in principle, but it doesn't do anything. Now there's another set of layers out here, which is here. And this set of layers works two ways. One is you can put one, if you have this one, let's say go back here. If you have this checked and then you check one of these, I don't know what these, what these different ones are, but then when you zoom this, oh no, I'm not zooming again. You can't zoom with this mouse. You just do this. But if you zoom and pan, what happens is you see that system in the background until this takes over. So if you want to see just this layer in the background, like you want to see all RNC charts, RNCs, not ENCs, you could turn that on, but then you would have to turn that off. Now, instead of looking at an interactive these are not interactive. These are RNC charts, but you're looking at just the pictures of the vector charts. These are the ones being discontinued in about a year and a half. Okay, so that's that. But we want to turn the ENCs on here because that's what we're going to use. And then when you turn the ENCs on, that overrides whatever you have in the background. So this doesn't, unless you just want to look at different types of maps, you can do that. You can play with that in this viewer. All right, so that's what that is. That's the layers. We want ENC. That's all you got here. Okay, now here we come to the settings, and these are the standard types of settings that you make on any navigation program when you're setting up an ENC viewer. Depth contours. Okay, I'm going to reference, before explaining these, in fact, I'm not going to explain these, but this is a safety contour, and let's see, what units are they? Meters. That's in meters, and that's this dark contour here. And but I'm going to leave that to our new course. Here's our book. That's also, you could look in our book, Electronic Chart Navigation. That explains how to use these charts. And for even more detail, we got a whole course on these charts. And an important part of the use of the ENC charts, by the way, is the proper use of these different contours. The shallow contour, the safety contour, and a deep contour. There's another thing called safety depth, which is also an important parameter. They don't do safety depth here, it looks like. Okay, but we're not going to do that now. I refer you to the book on that. But that's just changing where these colors change and which one is bold. This is always the bold one. And there's a long story. There's a story to it, how you get what you want and so forth. You can't just put in the number you want. Okay, so let's go here, miscellaneous. Symbolized boundaries. Okay. Oh, now look, that's Why did that do that? I'm going to get rid of this background that's these RNCs and just put something else in here, maybe street topographic or something, because that's confusing. When this is changing, I'd rather it just be the ocean rather than, you see, when I change that a little bit, that's a background. It's going to be showing there until this ENC actually loads. And it's a little bit confusing if that's the RNC. Okay, but now here is the, right now we're doing symbolized boundaries. Symbolized boundaries. And symbols are like these tick marks and these diamonds along here and so forth. If you made that plain boundaries, and then that should go to just dashes. These are just now dashes like that. An important point to note, not acronym. Okay, plain bound. Let me go to symbolized. I'll just make a quick note here looking at these little diamonds or these little tick marks are always pointing into the region that's being defined. So whatever this region is, which we can find out in a moment by clicking it, then these diamonds will point into that. And so forth. Okay, so you're just defining what kind of lines you want to show here. If you keep the chart cleanest, that would be plain boundaries. All right, acronym versus description. Now, it turns out that, as far as I can tell, they show both of these no matter what this setting is. So I don't think this matters too much. This is just like on a regular navigation program, you can make it'll just change the overall color scheme. Usually it'll get to a point like at nighttime when you can't even read. Okay, yeah, that's common. You just can't read that. The best thing to do in a navigation station is just turn down, leave it on daytime and turn the light down. Your night vision is not controlled by the color of the light, it's controlled by the brightness. So just turn the lights, dim the lights a little bit and use daytime. Okay, compass rose on or off. It doesn't matter it'll show a compass rose. Data extents, this also for this particular display does not matter. Data quality on, that's going to just tell us more information than we actually want for the time being. We can leave that off. Depth is feet or meters. These are the standard display. You have to again read our book or take the course to understand the distinction between this. These are just different levels of how much data is going to be shown. If you go to just base, you're seeing you don't see much. You don't see much. And if you turn on standard, then that brings in a certain amount of data. It's supposed to be like the bare minimum needed for navigation. But frankly, it's very often not enough. And so other means everything else comes on. And then in a program like we use in the course, QTVLM, then you customize this and say, well, this is really not exactly the combo. This is like everything. And I don't want everything. I just want the things I care about. And you define those in a real navigation program. Display frame text, I don't know. I can't figure out what those do. And then, okay, now this is an important one. SCA-min, this is SCA-min on. So if you look at these depth contours, you'll see SCA-min is, again, that's a scale minimum that an object shows. So if I roll this, wait a minute, remember, you don't zoom with rolling. You zoom? I'm going to zoom here. I'm going to zoom in, plus. Plus is going to keep showing things. All right, so these are all showing. But if I zoom out, these soundings and these contours have a minimum scale that they show on. And if I go out beyond that, they're going to disappear, like right there, whatever it is. So if you want to just look at charts and study things, you may want to just turn that off. And then if your chart's too cluttered, then go back and turn it on. And then intended usage, this doesn't matter too much when you're just hunting around. Later, you may if you're just looking in a harbor, you may just do this, but then there's no charts. There's no harbor charts here, so you won't see anything. So I would just say leave that at all. Okay, isolated dangers in shallow water. Well, that's a practical thing to have on. Label contour, I would leave these on. Again, this doesn't matter. Okay, and then what do you got? Optional deep, no. Symbolize, okay, what this is just standard E-chart reading. This has got a load here. Oh, I made it harder to load. So these, you see these buoy symbols, you can change those symbols here by a simplified symbol. Now this is going to change to a different design. You see, that's a new ENC design, and this is more of a paper chart design for these buoys. That's what that is. And then text groups, okay, you can just leave all that on. Okay, so that's the setup of just setting up, like this is like you would just set this up as if you're setting up a normal ENC chart viewer in a navigation program like QTVLM or OpenCPN, things like that, or Coastal Explorer, Expedition, any of the navigation programs, you have to set up the ENC display options. This we've done, that's that search engine, yeah, okay. Now we get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, this I is your cursor pick controller. Cursor pick controller. And the way that these charts work, is how you learn about an object on the chart is you cursor pick it, meaning normally on a navigation program you just right click it. Like you would right click this and it would say give me the info, or you'd left click it and it'd give me the info. But here it doesn't do it that way. You have these two. One is a point, and you see it's got to go gray. Once it goes gray, then you can come over and click this. It went gray, and I'm clicking this. Okay, so I clicked it, and it popped up. This is the cursor pick or the cursor report. And see more, and then you got to do more info, get it big as it'll get here. And then you'll see that at the point that I clicked, there are 13 items of information. The first one is called cat lit. Oh, this cat lit. That means category the light. Light characteristic. Let's go back. Maybe that is the point where they make a distinction. Let's go back over here to settings, where it said acronym versus description. Let's put description here and then come back. And then, okay, oh look, that stayed clicked, which is interesting. Okay, now I can click this point again. Click, up, click. This is where it goes a little bit slow, sometimes missing it. Okay, there it is. And so that's a light. Color, exhibit, okay. Condition of light, yes, that's, okay. So you do want to go back and turn off the acronyms, what they call acronyms. They're actually abbreviations, not acronyms. But, and so because here then you get real words that describe these, the attributes. This is the object, and these are attributes. And they're like that. And so you see this is how this is a yellow light and so forth. And then that's 12 objects there. Then you can click this again, and it's a buoy. It's a special purpose buoy. And then it's got a pillar shape and, and so forth. And then it defines it. So that's the way this works, and it'll go on down. Now here's an interesting thing. You see when you select an area, this is called traffic separation zone. And so when I've clicked that, a nice thing about this is it highlights the whole area. That's the traffic separation zone right there like that and so forth. Let's see here. That's the way all this works. Abbreviations, house, help. I'm just checking my notes here if there's anything else. Oh, one thing. Oh, yeah, okay, the other thing. There's another type of cursor pick mode, which is this guy. Now, that's a regional zone. So if I go here, then I'm selecting a region. No information is there. That's not true. Okay, yeah, there's 28 objects there. Okay, in that region. 28 objects. And then I can step through them again here. 6, 7, 8. These are, and you see as there's a elevate. This is now a depth contour, and then depth contour, and so forth. So that region, because I had a region, I picked several areas. That's why I got a bunch of depth contours. When you do this pick here, you only get one depth contour at most if you're there. Okay, so that's closed. Now, one thing to keep in mind, once you have this selected, it sort of remembers that. So that means if you want to move this chart See, before we couldn't zoom, but when we dragged with my mouse, we panned the chart. But now it won't pan. And the reason it won't pan is it's trying to do a cursor pick. So if you want to start panning the chart, you got to come back and unclick this. Then you can pan the chart. All right, I think, let's see, mouse, move, page, okay, house, help. I think that's the main things about this. Then you just play with it, and you'll notice that it's like a navigation program, or how you interact with a navigation program. Now, something like a QTVLM or other navigation programs are much more dynamic, and you have other information and so forth. Here you can do things like you can measure distances here, like between 2 points, and you can change the units, right? That's here. Let's see. Oh, and here's what it says. Look, control to enable snapping. Well, that control assumes you're on a PC. I'm on a Mac, so I have to put command, and then I can put a mark here, and then I can control it. You see measuring distance over there on left. Or I can click it and measure distance over here and so forth. But that's on a PC it'd be control, and then clear ends that, and then that. So you can measure distances, but that's about it. And the way that it does the depth contours is not as sophisticated as we can do on a real navigation program. But you can at least practice and get a feeling for that. All right, I'm going to stop there. That's a lot longer than I wanted to say about this app, but now that's covered. Thank you.